Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining BJ Rains today is KTVB Sports Director Jay Tust. Check him out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy and make sure to check out KTVB.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now here's Jay Tust and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on back. Bronco Nation News live here at BroncoNationNews.com. Jay Tust is here, but has his camera turned off, so he will there he is. Jay Tust is with us for a Friday edition of Bronco Nation News Live. We're in the Cutwater Studios. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Jay, I really don't want to rail on the bus system in West Ada, but maybe I should. Why not? I mean, we're 3 days in, and we're 3 days of significantly delayed buses. So I'm going to give them a couple more days here, but it's not off to a great start.
What time to get there today?
It was supposed to come at 8:36, and it came at 8:51 was today. So we were about 15 minutes late. I waited on the very first day of school 30 minutes in the morning, and then it was literally almost an hour late in the afternoon. So I know they're trying. We've had different drivers every time. It wasn't even the right bus today. The number, I mean, it's they got a lot going on with a lot of kids.
Your kids on the wrong bus?
I may have. I don't know. It wasn't the one. It wasn't the number it was supposed to be. So we'll see. And I know they have a lot going on. There were a lot of kids on that bus too. So as long as they get them there safely, I appreciate it. But early in the school year, they got some kinks to work out on the bus schedule, it seems like. But we're here. We're happy. We're ready to go. Bronco Nation News Live on a Friday edition. A lot to get to today. They're going to have scrimmage number 2 of fall camp tomorrow. The media is not allowed to watch that, but we will talk to Andy Avalos after the scrimmage around 4 o'clock. So we're going to get into today kind of if we were able to peek over the fence or watch the scrimmage, what would be our hope to see tomorrow. The second scrimmage is kind of the final scrimmage before they really set that depth chart, decide who's scout team, decide who made the 2 deep. That usually happens, in the 48 hours after that second scrimmage. So we'll talk about some key position battles that are close to being decided. And also we'll get into if there is any kind of updates and realignment. There hasn't been a ton, but Jay, I'm smart, man. For the search engine optimization for the YouTube searches, all I have to do is just put conference realignment in the bio here, whether we talk about it or not. And it helps increase our viewership these days. So I just kind of put it in there, and we'll see if we get to it. Maybe that was our update on it right there. But whatever gets us more viewership, we will gladly take. We're going to also get into the Kaniho family and what's going on there. I actually just got off the phone with Kekala Kaniho. The older brother, former player, was trying to confirm some details. Going to be posting my story here shortly. We got about a 2-minute clip to play. If folks missed it yesterday, obviously they've got upwards of almost 50 family members over in Lahaina that were displaced and literally lost pretty much everything. I was talking to Kekala, and he basically said, yeah, there was like one uncle that may have had part of his property saved, but for the most part, we're talking their house, their life possessions, their cars, everything, unfortunately gone from these wildfires, which are now the deadliest wildfires in the last 100 years in the United States. And so it's just so sad to hear about this. But the good news is everyone in their family is safe. They've relocated to safer ground, but a lot of pictures and memories and things that they're just not going to be able to get back. And it's, hitting close to home for the Canio family. And so we'll play a clip and talk about that as well. We'll take your comments here on the ICCU YouTube chat. Everybody is excited. We got Dennis saying good morning. Jonathan is good morning. Let's go. Rudy's fired up for the Tust man. Vlad says good morning, everybody. So yeah, folks are fired up this morning. We appreciate it. Jay, they were also fired up last night when Talon Green let the cat out of the bag a little bit, posting to his Instagram account a sneak peek of the light show, which may be coming here. We had heard about the blue lights. You have some orange lights here as well. People were fired up. I'm not sure, Jeremiah Dickey, everybody at Boise State were quite as fired up to see this get public. But your thoughts on what you're seeing here from the light show?
I think it's kind of what we anticipated. It looks awesome, and this is what Bronco Nation wanted, and certainly Jeremiah Dickey made this a priority for Bronco Nation to enhance the game day atmosphere, and I think you can see right then and there it's going to do that. In their old light system, BJ, it was ancient. It's one of those light systems where if you turn it off, it takes a while to get back on. You can't flicker a switch like you're seeing right here and have any type of cool effect on your lighting setup. So this is going to make a difference. I think it's going to be fun. The reaction so far from what I've seen on social media has been extremely positive. I just can't wait to see how they're going to utilize it. Like, is this what it's going to look like after Talon Green scores, the first touchdown of the game against UCF in the home opener?
I would say no, because it's still going to be light at 5:00. That's the only downside I think to
when
this.
He scores his fourth touchdown in the fourth quarter. Is that what this is going to look like?
That is, we all of a sudden we're wishing it was an 8:30 kickoff again for the first time in history, I guess. But no, it is going to be very cool. I know they're talking about doing something like this when the team runs out of the tunnel, the third to fourth quarter transition. They could make the lights go out. I haven't
think that's
heard
the big one. I think that's the big one, BJ. I think they really want to have that third to fourth quarter transition, that they're just trying to find a way to make it unique and fun.
And that'll be interesting in terms of the touchdown. You mentioned the touchdowns there. I mean, that would be something pretty cool if that were to happen after a touchdown. But again, the only downside is most, if not all, of that UCF game, it's still going to be light. I know it's starting to get dark a little bit earlier, but certainly at 4:55 when the team runs out of the tunnel, it's still going to be light. And then you're maybe even that third to fourth quarter transition about 7:30. It may not be dark enough for something like this in that first home game. And then the second home game is at 11 a.m. So it may take us a couple weeks to get the full effect of what this thing can do. But if you've got, during the Boise State chant, Jay, before the game, when they're putting blue lights on one side, maybe orange lights coming back on the other, a lot of cool things they can do. I would say that obviously it's going to be able to do more than this, but the alternating blue and orange right now, I mean, think about just some loud music, just music going crazy, the crowd going crazy, the team getting ready to run out of the tunnel, and this is what's going on inside the stadium. I mean, we were told, hey, kind of look at NC State and their red, light show and some of these other shows, and you kind of had an idea, you kind of thought about it, but once we saw this last night, man, when it's dark and that place is rocking and it's doing something like this, man, it is going to be pretty freaking cool to see.
Yeah, Cody Gogler mentioned that. Check out NC State on you can kind of Google it or check them out on YouTube and what they do with their light show. That's who Boise State's going to kind of model what they do. Obviously, the Broncos are going to have their own spin on it and everything like that, but I think they're looking to NC State and what they've done for inspiration, mostly just because it's a very similar lighting structure to what NC State utilizes. Yeah,
it's going to be awesome. The LED lights, and again, they're going to also incorporate that with the scoreboards, the ribbon boards on the side. So I think it's actually going to be even cooler than what you saw right there to start with. And again, that's from Talon Green, I believe, his Instagram account. Jordan says this is going to be so sick. We do have a longtime listener, longtime viewer, Jay, that is asking if you could flex. Johnny Ballgame wants to know if you could flex for him. Look at that. Didn't seem like much of a flex there, though.
It wasn't nearly as much of a flex as pulling up to a stoplight and seeing Johnny in the
I'm telling you, man,
I van yesterday just jamming to some Queen. I mean,
I had my window down. I hear the music. I hear "We Will Rock You," and I it's so loud, and I'm like, where is that coming from? And I see the van, the KTIK van, like 3 or 4 cars up. And I'm like, there's no way that is coming from up there. And there's no way that is Johnny Ballgame driving the van. Yeah. And I pull up and I see you looking over on the other side doing the exact same thing, peeking in. And sure enough, John Mallory is full, like hands on the steering wheel, drummer.
I hate doing this, BJ, because it's not. I don't think it's good. It doesn't make for good video, but I'm going to try to give everybody the full effect of this here.
Do you have him actually rocking out? We can't see. Move it over there. Oh, you actually do.
Oh,
wow.
Dang it! Don't look at
that. Oh my gosh!
Johnny Ballgame, everybody. Johnny Ballgame. Mad flex right there by Johnny.
Oh man! I heard the music and I was like, "There's no way." And sure enough, now something else happened. By the way, here is my picture. It's because that's when I noticed the KTVB vehicle also. So there's Jay Tust on the left. We're going full circle here. There's Johnny cruising in the KTVB vehicle on the right, but you had to make a quick swerve.
I had to make a quick swerve.
You said there was a guy coming in the wrong direction or something. Were you kidding?
That's what. Yeah, so we were looking over there, and you're like rolling down your window, yelling at me how hilarious Johnny is, and there's a car coming down Front Street at me, and I'm like, what is going on here? This is dangerous.
There was a car on the one-way street going in the wrong direction. Right for Jay Tust. John Mallory playing Queen almost caused a serious accident.
I guess so. Maybe that car was just like, what's going on over there? And let's take a right down Front Street.
I think we blame Johnny for that if something happened. Johnny says, stop this. He says, let's go.
Johnny, we got 19 more minutes to talk about this, buddy. We got 19 more minutes.
We got more footage, more video. Yeah, we are we're ready to go. Well, we'll transition topics. We will talk some actual Boise State football. But first, I had a great dinner last night with Andy and Jenny Rowe, rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. Always good to, Jay, catch up with the title sponsors, have a meal, and excited about the future of BNN thanks to some of our great sponsors, including rowpaint.com. Check them out. They got the concrete coatings going on right now, and there's still time to get it done before the end of the year. Coach Leon Rice going to be doing some commercials for him. You heard him talking about it. They came out and did his garage. So one-day install. They come in the morning about 9 o'clock, and they leave about 5:30, and you wake up the next morning. It's all dry. It's perfect, and you got your concrete coating. So check them out, roepaint.com. Highly recommend it for your back patio, your garage, your basement, any kind of old driveway, sidewalk, any kind of concrete slab that's stained or doesn't look good. Transform the look of it with the folks at roepaint.com. Jay, we're also getting closer. Lithia Ford of Boise, the fall kickoff sales going on September 8th. I'm kind of putting Jay on the spot here. We've talked about it, but it's going to happen hopefully September 8th, 9 o'clock, our Friday segment, the day before the UCF game. We're hoping to broadcast literally from the inside of an F-150 Lightning. It's going to be a cool show there and help promote Lithia Ford of Boise and show you all the features of an F-150 Lightning all-electric vehicle. So make plans if you're in the area and want to hang out. We'd love to have you come join us. If not, make sure you're at least watching the show. Again, Friday, September 8th, the day before the UCF game. We'll be at Lithia Ford of Boise for our show at 9 a.m., and again, we'll be broadcasting literally from the inside of an F-150 Lightning. I am looking forward to that. And Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Check them out as well. Another great major sponsor of ours here at Bronco Nation News. We appreciate them. ICCU.com, the best in mobile e-branch online banking. If you're looking for a new savings account, you want an easier checking account, we have them for business, for personal. Way that moving money is so easy, and we're very appreciative of the folks at ICCU. We are working on the next episode of the Tyson Degenhart Show. We have 2 guests coming on, but I don't want to announce it yet until it's quite confirmed. But very excited about an in-person interview with 2 guests who are going to sit around, tell stories, and that's going to be great. And we have another big-time guest we're working on as well. So stay tuned for more information, but we appreciate our friends over at Idaho Central Credit Union. Jay, let's talk about the Canijo family first, because I thought that was a man, it kind of pulled at the heartstrings a little bit. I mean, you're hearing him talk about it, and his family literally lost everything they had in the fires, and his parents, his child, his immediate family are okay. They are on Oahu, different island, but a lot of cousins, aunts, uncles, family they're still very close with. And again, he said 40. I talked to his brother Kekala a short time ago. He said it's closer to 50 probably. Family and friends that were displaced by these wildfires. And again, these are the deadliest wildfires in the U.S. in over 100 years. If 99 people unfortunately, tragically have lost their life. The last time I looked at this update on CNN on the internet earlier this morning, and it's just horrible to think about. And they're all safe. That's the big story. But you're talking, like I said, family videos, family pictures, mementos, high school diplomas. I mean, everything that you could think of that if there was a fire in your house that you would just, be devastated to lose. Unfortunately, most of the Canio family has lost that. They've taken refuge with an uncle, family member on the other side of the island. Some have moved to other spots with friends and family, but it's pretty much destroyed. They're and we're not talking one or two houses here. We're talking their entire family of like 50 people, and so it's just heartbreaking. Thinking about the Canio family, just so sorry for what they're going through, and here's Kekala over here, obviously, but his brother, is trying to fight for a spot on the in the starting lineup, and he's pushing for playing time, and this is a big part of fall camp, as we talked about, and he's obviously got that going on in the back of his mind. So a lot going on for Kanohi Canio, and you can understand that his mind is elsewhere sometimes, but man, he's got a lot going on, and trying to balance football with what's going on back home. You're muted, Jay.
It's devastating, man. And to, we've known the Canio family for quite some time now. I mean, Kekala played here for 6 years. Ka'anoi is going into his 4th year, I believe. And just an outstanding family. They love each other too, man. They are a close-knit group. And, Ka'anoi kind of talked about this yesterday, the Polynesian influence on their family and how connected and how much they love each other. And it's not just their immediate family, but their extended family. And we talk about it being a different island from where Ka'anoi and Kekala's parents currently live, but it's still really impacted their life. And it's heartbreaking, man. They're two great guys, outstanding human beings. And Ka'anoi's got some stuff that he's got to battle through while he also tries, as you said, to battle for a starting spot in Boise State secondary.
Here's a short back and forth with the media of Kanohi talking about what's going on back home and trying to focus on football.
Yeah, so my family actually originated from Lahaina, which is the town that got burnt down on Maui. So we had a lot of family back there, and my great-grandpa is actually one of 16 kids. So we have a bunch of family back there, and I mean, it's a hard time right now, but everything's family back home. So we have everyone helping out, and my family on the outer islands are sending them stuff and doing whatever we can to really help.
So then you had your houses affected and stuff?
Yeah, my family actually lost their houses and cars and everything they had. So they're staying with one of my uncles on the other side of the island right now. So, I mean, they're blessed still. They're always texting us that they love us and that they're so thankful for us, just because they didn't think they were going to make it out. So it really opened their eyes to life and the quality of life that we have.
Which family members is that who actually related to
All of them. Yeah. I would say at least 40. Yeah. So there was a bunch of family.
Were there some scary hours and days kind of waiting to hear from people? Because I know communication getting out was kind of hard.
Yeah, no, there was definitely scary days and hours after we saw what was happening because the communication was down, but we knew that they were taking care of themselves and they would find a way through it, which is what they did. And we obviously texted them, and we knew they'd get back to us as soon as they could.
What was it like to be here and probably watching that stuff on TV or seeing it on social media? What was it like to just kind of be off the island and pretty much all you can do to see what's going on?
Yeah, I would obviously love to be there to help them out and be there for them, but I'm texting them every day, calling them and making sure they're okay now. And then my mom and dad are shipping them generators, all kinds of stuff, electric stoves, whatever they need. So they're doing their part, and I'm trusting in them to help them out.
So aside from like property loss and damage and stuff, they're all okay, like health-wise?
Yeah, everyone's safe, so that's the biggest thing. That's all that matters.
And that obviously is the biggest thing, the most important thing. Everybody is safe. He even said, I asked him, Jay, like, and at the time I was like, one of those questions, I'm like, this might be so dumb that like maybe I shouldn't ask it, but I was like, any thought of like asking Coach Avalos if you can have a day or two and go back home and help your family? And I thought about it before I asked it, and I went ahead and just went for it. And he's like, yeah, that thought actually did come into my mind, but his dad basically talked him out of it and said, hey, things are going to be okay. We're okay. We're taking care of it. You stay there and focus on football. But I can't imagine, 21, 22-year-old kid with aunts, uncles, cousins watching, as you asked in the question, watching on TV, watching on social media, literally the town just burning down, and there for several hours, they're texting, calling, can't get replies, not sure if they're even okay at the time. Just crazy to think about that scenario.
Yeah, I've only been to Hawaii once, and it's you get a really cool feeling being on the island because you feel like everybody's connected, man. I mean, they have essentially, I mean, they really do. They essentially have their own little economy and all that stuff, and one family helps the other family, and small businesses help small businesses, and so I can't imagine the amount of people that were impacted by what happened this last week, and two of them are very well known players in this Boise State football community. So hopefully that they can get through this, and the best of them and the rest of the Canio family, and I'm sure we'll see the Canio parents over here before too long, because they frequent the mainland to watch their boys play football, and I look forward to catching up with them when they do the next trip.
We're getting a ton of comments, thoughts and prayers, and folks, wishing well wishes for the Canijo family in the comment section. So appreciate that, and yes, hoping everything continues to improve over there. And that an unfortunate side story to fall camp with what's going on over there. So hopefully things can keep improving for them. Somebody mentioned, imagine the Hawaii football team. Yeah, they've probably got a lot of family and friends and folks from over there on that island, and I'm sure there's players around the country maybe impacted by that, but I hope it continues to improve. And as I mentioned, tomorrow is a big scrimmage for a guy like Keanohi Canijo, trying to fight for a starting spot with Jalen Clark and Markel Reed and some of these guys. And I will, by the way, have an article up shortly. I was waiting on some photos. I will have an article up shortly. I know you guys covered it on KTVB last night. Folks can go to KTVB.com, but I will have a article at BroncoNationNews.com that I think I'll make free for everybody, just talking about the family and what's going on over there. So check the website here shortly. And also should mention another great story by Jordan Kay that I think is already posted or about to be posted on Alexander Tubner. Go check that out. And it's his dad. He talked to Alexander Tubner's dad, and I thought it was tremendous stuff because everybody keeps talking about his dad said something to the effect of the way you hear the questions asked, the way you hear people talk about him, it's like this is some fairy tale with what he's doing and where he's come from. And he goes, if you talk to Tubes, he's like, he expected this from day one. Like, this is not something that Alexander Tubner is surprised by one bit, that he's gone from, under recruited, not recruited at all, walk on to earning a starting spot at safety for, a potential top 25 conference championship type team. So great story looking at how Alexander Tubner went from a scrawny, small running back in Seaside, Oregon, to working his way up to getting a scholarship. And so go check BroncoNationNews.com if you're a subscriber, and you can read that article on Alexander Tubner by Jordan Kay. I want to talk about the scrimmage tomorrow, what we're expecting, what we think might happen, the position battles we're looking at, but do want to obviously remind you that we are headed down to Las Vegas next week. Anybody interested? $1,000 entry, or you can split it with some buddies, split it with me. Heck, let me know. Reach out. You have to sign up in Vegas, so I'm signing folks up. I've got a couple people already doing it. I can sign you up, and then you can make your picks remotely through a proxy. It is 100% legal, and it's awesome. $8 million guaranteed for the Survivor winner, $6 million for the Circa Millions. And again, it's just a straight Survivor for the one contest, or you pick 5 games against the spread for the Circa Millions. Circa Resort and Casino. Jay, next Friday, we'll be doing this show. I will be at Circa while you are here in Boise next Friday as we help promote their contest weekend. So Circa Sports, Circa Resort and Casino, a big proud sponsor, and we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. The Blue and Orange Store, another big sponsor. When they heard we had a chance to get Mike Prater, Travis Hawks and company stepped up, helped us make it happen. So go support the Blue and Orange Store right there at the Boise Town Square Mall on the second floor. Normal mall hours. Go in there and get all your gear for the season. Talk some Boise State sports with the staff there. Always a fun time going to the Blue and Orange Store. And if you're not in the Boise area, they have their full inventory available online, theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40. So check them out at the Blue and Orange Store. I was out with Kelly and Mark Ridley last night as well. They joined the Rose and us. We had a really nice time, and always love catching up with the sponsors and just great people. And Ridley's Family Markets, go support them. When you think, heading to the grocery store, whether it's Cuna, Middleton, Star, the surrounding areas all across the state, Ridley's Family Markets, they got that new app. Go download it. Get up to 40% savings in your smartphone. And we really appreciate Ridley's Family Markets. And so make sure you support them next time you're heading to the grocery store. And I went and saw Dr. Minor yesterday as well. Been seeing a lot of the sponsors lately. I visited the dentist. Teeth are all doing good. No cavities. Everything's good. BoiseDentistryCo.com. 5 locations across the Treasure Valley. Find one near you at BoiseDentistryCo.com. Jay, obviously the scrimmage coming up on tomorrow afternoon. We don't get to watch. It's a closed private scrimmage. I mentioned this is kind of the last scrimmage before the depth chart is set. So what position battles, what positions in general, if you were able to peek over the fence and see how things looked, would you be focused on tomorrow?
It's the same that I've echoed since day one. I want to see how the defensive line does. I want to see the rotations there. I want to see if they can naturally put pressure, on Taylor Green without having to bring extra bodies. I mean, that defensive line has to answer the call here soon, and I just want to see how they're progressing. We only get to see so much in practice, and that's why sometimes when we talk to these guys and we ask them about how it's going, it's almost like we're truly questioning them. But I mean, we really only get to watch so much right now, so we kind of have to live through their eyes and their words and take them for what they're saying right now, because we don't really get to evaluate what's going on there right now. So I guess what I'm saying is it might seem like we're being critical, but all we're left to do is speculate at this point until really, what happens on early September 3rd or whatever it is at the University of Washington, September 2nd. I can't remember what's the opening date.
That's the second. Yeah.
Second. Yeah. At the University of Washington. I just want to see how it's coming along. And BJ, I'm going to guess you're the same way. Just I think it's the confidence that they're just naturally exuding right now on offense. I feel like they like what they're doing on offense right now. I feel like they love their running backs. I feel like they have started to find, a rhythm on their offensive line and how that's going to look. And they have a number of talented receivers. I just don't get the feeling there's much concern about what's going on offense right now. My feeling is that they feel confident.
Yeah, and then you look at the edge rushers for Washington, and you see they're both ranked as pretty highly in the country and what they're doing. And but I agree. I don't think the offense. I think we all agree is going to be fine, going to score a lot of points. Whether or not that means 40 points against Washington or whatever in the first game is left to be seen. But I think over the course of the season, not many reasons to be worried at all about the offense. I guess keeping Taylor Green healthy, would be included as a big key to that. No, I'm looking at, I think that you mentioned the defensive line. Obviously, we've heard a ton of praise for them. We talked to Michael Callahan the other day. I mean, it does sound like that group is coming along maybe a little ahead of schedule or a little better than some of us would have thought. But I mean, in terms of position battles, I think that corner one's going to be interesting too, because right now, when we were watching out the other day, you had Jalen Clark and Markel Reed running with the ones. And I mentioned Canijo's a guy that's got the 5th most starts on the team right now going into the season, and he may not even have a starting spot. I mean, who knows? There's some battles going on there. The center position, I think, is worth watching because obviously we can't report everything that's going on. But, you guys get banged up in fall camp. Things happen. People are in and out. They're rotating guys. They're moving guys around. And so I think the center position is one to watch, I guess, in terms of what they decide to do there. We guys have been doing different stuff, and we even saw Garrett Curran, I think, taking some snaps at center at practice the other day. So a lot of that is just trying guys out at different spots during fall camp in case something happens during the season. But you never know there. But
yeah, one thing I'll say to that is that, I mean, we've seen in years past, I mean, how many different positions did a guy like Will Farah play on the offensive line? At Boise State, he was sliding between both guard spots. He got some starts at center, and so this is also a point in time where you have to identify options. Whether you love your one or not, you got to make sure that you have a two that you feel reliable, because you don't want somebody going in there, and having to take a snap because somebody goes down on week 4 and not having any experience doing that. So, I will say that, yes, just kind of seeing how that offensive line comes together through fall camp will be interesting. And I'm going to go back. I've continued to focus on the defensive line, but I agree with you about cornerback. I think that scenario is a little bit different. One more note about the defensive line is that, it's not just the starters. It's that depth. You go back years when Boise State has had some dominant defense, they have hit opposing offenses with waves of talent on their defensive line. It's not just the ones. Heck, it's not just the twos, but sometimes you can rotate in a third group and still feel like you can at least hold up. At that cornerback position, though, you mentioned, man, they've just got some options there, and I think it's pretty intriguing. It seems like going into fall camp, we heard, guys like Markel Reed and Katanoe Kaniho might have to be eased back into things since they're kind of coming off significant injuries or surgeries. And now I think you see those guys. I mean, they're full bore. I mean, they're ready to roll. And so you have that boundary cornerback position with a bigger guy like Jalen Clark. It seems like he's going to be the guy at that spot. But you flip over to the field position and Markel Reed, Katanoe Kaniho, Amarion McCoy has been a fun story to follow. The dude's put on 15 to 17 pounds since he arrived from a junior college just back in the spring. Yeah. I know that they like what he can do. He can really move and cover some ground. So it's a little bit different than some of the other position battles. I just want to know who wins, but I'm not necessarily concerned with who wins, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I think it's a close scrimmage. We'll hear what Andy Avalos is willing to say afterwards. George Helani, Ashton Genty did not get much work in the first scrimmage. Honestly, wouldn't expect them to get much work tomorrow again. I mean, you want both those guys 100% going into that Washington game. By the way, our friends over at KTIK Radio had a great 25-minute interview with the head coach at Washington, Kalen DeBoer, on yesterday's show. Go listen to that. He had some great stuff about Coach Pete and about Boise State. And again, KTIK.com. You can listen to that interview and their podcast, their app. It's over there as well. Great stuff from Kalen DeBoer. And I heard they're going to get another big guest coming up next week. I almost gave it away, and I'm not supposed to. So big guest coming up on KTIK. They're doing a great job. I think they're calling it the world's longest pregame show or something, getting you set for that Washington game. So go listen to the podcast, support our friends over at KTIK. Jay, appreciate it. That's going to do it for today's show. By the way, our friends at ICCU here have given us 3 more of these Tyson Degenhart autographed balls. So Tyson has agreed as part of the Tyson Degenhart show. The next 3 people that sign up for a subscription to BNN get a autographed Tyson Degenhart mini basketball here. So these are pretty cool basketball from ICCU. And if you're interested, sign up for a subscription, yearly subscription, $70, one-time fee. You don't have to worry about it, and you get the ball. If you'd rather have the Taco Bell gift card, $20 at Taco Bell. We won't tell Tyson, but we can hook you up with that as well. Just send me an email when you subscribe, and we'll hook you up with your prize. So, Jay, appreciate it as always, man. We'll be seeing you. We have interviews at noon. No open practice today, but we do have interviews after practice. I believe it's Rodney Robinson and Tyler Crow, 2 guys that are always fun to chat with. So, looking forward to that. A little later today, I think it's noon is the start time for the interviews today, and then we'll have Andy Avalos tomorrow after the scrimmage. So, and then we're 2 weeks from tomorrow, man, is game day, and a week from tomorrow is the week 0 games down. I'll be at Stadium Swim outside Circa Resort and Casino watching Navy and Notre Dame. 10 a.m. this time tomorrow, next Saturday. So, looking forward to it. College football's back, and it's going to be fun. Following it here all season long at Bronco Nation News. So go subscribe on YouTube down at the bottom. Hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. Go follow Jay on Twitter if you don't already, which I'm sure everybody pretty much does. But follow Jay, follow KTVB, all of our great supporters and sponsors. And have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Go subscribe. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com.